But the truth is, there were many different types of Moors. There were Muslim Moors, there were Jewish Moors, Christian Moors, and some that practiced a Kemetic African faith. As a result of the Roman civilization collapsing, Europe fell into a dark age for 500 years.
Yo, we are the Moabites, Canaanites, and Hamathites, driven out by Joshua with Pharaoh watching ya. Let us settle in Egypt, we formed kingdoms, Morocco, Algiers, and gave the world wisdom. The beauties of Alhambra, hand-sculpted, intricate patterns, ceilings, high-like cabins, arabesque and stucco in the walls with work grotto, invented in Damascus by Moors of Morocco. Saracenic architects, straight curved lines intersect, turbans everywhere, many seeking intellect, centuries of brilliance encrusted with glazed tiles, temples or schools, admission lines were miles. Muslim kings created many glamorous things, so much don't know where to begin. Sapphire paved sidewalks, coolness and cleanliness, mind full of self-knowledge, no emptiness.
Irrigation systems constructed by Moorish engineers. They also created paved roads and public restrooms. Education thrived in Moorish Spain, including 17 universities, 800 schools, several colleges, and public libraries and books.
Reminiscent of sacred scriptures, it's like heaven on earth. Knowledge was wealth and how you measured your worth. Nowadays it's just ruins and tourists viewing. Gems plucked from the walls, people misconstruing. Plaster over elaborate carvings, there's nothing charming. No porcelain tile or jade walls, people starving. No flourishing chivalry or universities renowned. Christian churches suppressed prayer and Arabic sounds. Destroyed the beauty and grandeur for decadence. For pestilence and presidents, removed elegance. This is my testament of my ancestral excellence and promotion of it for mankind's betterment. Seek reference of the elements, my emphasis on blessedness and benevolence. Seek for yourself, no hearsay evidence. Pull from Akashic magnetic resonance, not artificial but intelligence. Intelligent, modern as seen, see the essence, essential, no default or acquiescence. The fulfillment of joy found in knowledge presence. I give reverence and I'm not a Muslim because I honor all the stars and the crescents.
The Moors during this time were also heavy translators of ancient Kemetic texts and scientific texts. This was also especially important considering the fact that 99% of the population were illiterate, including the king, who could not read or write during this time. The Moors were also aware that the world was round and not flat. They took their knowledge of geography and created maps that showed all land and sea routes, their location in relation to the latitude and longitude. The Moors constructed splendid palaces with manicured lawns, marble, carved walls with heavily decorated hallways, grand fountains, bright lamps, and 700 mosques. The Moors excelled in education, but they also enjoyed leisure activities such as horseback riding, marksmanship, chess, and they even enjoyed discussing war tactics and strategies. The Moors were also heavy listeners of music. They brought into Europe classical music, the piano, and other string instruments.
Bags and I started hanging out every day after that, talking for hours about the Illuminati, secret societies, the corrupt government, and history of the Moors, and history of the Moors, and history of the Moors.
I purchased this bridle approximately 30 years ago. The person I purchased was the granddaughter, and her grandfather had obtained the bridle. He was an Indian scout, and he had a Navajo friend who gave the grandfather the bridle.
Okay, can I ask you what you paid for it at the time?
I paid $2,000.
$2,000. It is in fact a Navajo bridle, and it's a nice early one, and you rarely see them this early with characteristics of the first bridles the Navajo made. Now they were of course influenced by the Plains Indians, the Comanche and Kiowa, and the Comanche and Kiowa would make a similar bridle that they learned from the Mexicans. Let's take it from the bottom. It's got a beautiful Mexican ring bit that probably dates to the mid to early 19th century. These were used on many of the Plains bridles and also the Navajo bridles. When you get up to these plaques, these silver plaques, you can notice some rocker engraving. This is the earliest characteristic of a Plains Indian bridle. They rocker engrave the decoration. So to see that as the detail with these different plaques means it's one of the first type bridles made like this by the Navajo. The beautiful conchas are all cold chiseled with probably the end of a file or something. Once again, a very early characteristic. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains. This is the naja, which is actually a Moorish symbol that came over from Spain via Mexico and all the way through the plains.